So this morning we will be using some weights. You're going to want to have heavier and lighter weights nearby. And we might use a block towards the end of class. So you might want to have a block nearby as well. And we're going to get started. We can either be sitting or lying down as we begin, your choice. So if you decide to begin lying down, just feel your body resting back into the floor. Plant your feet on the floor and feel that connection to the ground. If you decide to begin sitting, just take some time to really feel your connection to the ground through your sitting bones. And as you sit down, invite your spine to be nice and upright. Whether you're sitting or lying, you might want to close your eyes if that's comfortable. And take these first few moments here to just connect with the feeling of your body. So we mentioned feeling the parts of the body that touch the ground. And feel that connection, ground yourself. And then let your awareness move to the rest of your body. Maybe noticing the feeling of your joints or the feeling of your skin or any sensation in the muscles in your body. Scan the body with your mind and see if you encounter any areas of the body where you tend to hold tension or tightness, where you tend to grip or clench. And invite any areas that are holding that tension to release that tension, soften. Take a moment to soften the roof of your mouth. And then spend a little time just tapping into the feeling of your breathing. So notice the feeling of the breath as it moves in and expands. And notice the feeling of the breath as it releases and empties. Let the breath begin to deepen and expand a bit more. And let your exhale flow and empty all the way out. So really dive into this experience of feeling your breathing. You know, we breathe all the time and we don't have to think about it for it to happen. But tapping into this feeling can really focus our awareness on what we're experiencing in the present moment. We're practicing feeling movement in the body and just focusing on that. So take one more of these deep, full, expansive breaths in and out. And then see if you can maintain your focus on your breathing, even as you start to return to a more natural breath rhythm. Try not to let your mind wander away from focusing on your breath. And if it does, just bring it right back to your breath. It'll probably wander. Just be kind and redirect your attention to your breathing. Just another breath or two here. So this is what we try to do as we practice yoga. We try to really focus our awareness on what we're doing, what we're feeling, what we're experiencing. And in that way, we make the movement appropriate for how we're feeling in that moment. So before we start our movement practice, let's just check in with how we're doing, not only physically this morning, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And as we connect with how we're feeling, can we kind of imagine we were sharing that with a dear friend, how we're feeling, and the response that we'd get from someone who loves us? And can we offer that response to ourselves? Offer ourselves that love and compassion and empathy that we all need and deserve. And can we bring that lens to our movement practice this morning? So as we practice for this next hour or so, can we take care of ourselves? And so maybe what we need today is to really try to really push into the poses and work really diligently and, maximum strength. Or maybe some pose doesn't work so well for us, and so we decide to back off. So with that awareness, with that focus, and with that lens of kindness and love, let that guide us as we practice this morning. All right, let's make our way down onto our backs if we're not already there. And you could begin hugging your knees in or any other sort of beginning movement that would feel nice for your body. And then we're going to begin actually with dead bug using weights. So I think you might want to start with your lighter weights. I'm actually going to try, I have 3 and 5s. I'm going to try it with 5s. You can always switch from one to the other if you like. So we're going to start with our arms up in the air with the weight in the heel of the hands, and feel how that weight transmits down the arm, encouraging the back of the shoulder to drop more into the floor. And you can kind of almost feel with the weight, the back of the shoulders pressing down kind of contributes to a broadening across the collarbones. So you could press your hands up and your shoulders would come off the floor. Let's try that. And then let that weight kind of encourage the back of the shoulder to drop more into the floor. So there's more broadness across the upper back. There's more contact of the shoulders on the floor. That's a nice way to reset the shoulders. And then let's take our feet off the floor and we'll have bent knees. And then we're going to bend the elbows so the fists point back. So from here, we have bent knees, bent arms. We have our beginning dead bug position. Let's take the arms and the legs and stretch them up. And as the legs go up, let's just flex and point. Just kind of loosen up the legs a little bit here. And then we're going to bend the arms and bend the knees to that dead bug position. So let's do that movement a bunch of times. Inhale as the arms and legs go up, and exhale to bend. And inhale to lift, and exhale to bend. And pressing the arms up, lifting the legs up, and then bending. And a couple more like this. Just kind of paying attention to how it feels. Do you want to modify in any way. You want to have heavier weights, lighter weights. You want to modify your breathing. Do you want to maybe flex your feet as your legs go up? Or do you want to try pointing your toes as your legs go up? You can just kind of try different things. The next time we get to that dead bug position, bent knees, bent arms, we're going to start contralateral movement. So one arm and the opposite leg go up, and then we bend. Other arm and the other leg go up, and then we bend. So just alternating here. Opposite arm and opposite leg, reaching up and then bending. Just trying to get the two sides of the brain working to move the two sides of the body. We'll do a few more like this. And your breathing doesn't have to be very prescribed here, but just making sure you're not holding your breath. And after this next one, we're going to change it up. We're going to take the arms and legs straight up toward the ceiling. And then check if your shoulders came up and then drop them back down. So now we're going to move out to the side. We're going to take one leg out to the side and the opposite arm is going to go out as well. Let's breathe in as we do that and then bring that arm and leg back up. And then we're going to take the other leg and the other arm out to the side. And then we're going to come back up. So the tendency when the leg goes out is for the hips to lift or rock. Let's try to keep the hips solid and steady as we do this movement. So the arm goes out, the leg goes out, and the hips don't lift or rock. They stay just as they are. So we're just continuing to open out to the side and come back up. Let's imagine a line drawn down the middle of the body from the chin, sternum, pubic bone, and see if we can keep that line from moving. Keep that line really solid and steady. So there's no movement in the pelvis. You can inhale as the arm and leg go out and exhale as the arm and leg come up. You don't need to speed this movement up. You can go nice and slow and controlled. And the core has to really fire to keep the hips from lifting or rocking, doesn't it? So we'll do a couple more of these. Of course, you can always take a break anytime. We're going to do one more on each side. Inhaling to open and exhaling back up and inhaling to open and exhaling back up. And then we're going to do the next layer of dead bug. We're going to do one arm overhead and the other leg lowering down. Now you could just tap the toe or extend the leg and then bring that arm and leg back up. And then the other arm and leg. Arm goes overhead and the leg either toe can tap or the leg extends and comes back up. So we can inhale as we extend out and exhale as we come back up. Inhale, extend, exhale to lift. Yeah. So sometimes this moving opposite arm and opposite leg is a little tricky, especially if we haven't done this thousands of times like some of us have probably done. So be patient with yourself if it's a little tricky. It'll get better over time. Try not to hold your breath. So maybe inhale as you extend and exhale back up. And let's do this one more time on each side. Inhale to extend, exhale back up, inhale, extend, and exhale back up. Great. Last layer, we're going to take both arms overhead and your weights could rest on the floor. Your arms could drop open, whatever's comfortable for your shoulder here. And then we're going to press out through the heel as we breathe in. As we exhale, we're going to start to lower the legs away. We're going to see how far the legs can go before the back starts to arch off the floor. And then we'll draw the knees in, inhale the legs up. Exhale, press out through the heels and lower the legs away. When it feels right, you draw the knees in, inhale up, exhale, and lower away. We'll just do two more of these. Draw the knees in, inhale the legs up, exhale to lower, And last one here. Inhale the legs up. Exhale and lower them down. Great. Let's bring the knees in, bring the arms up, and then we're going to just set the weights down at our side so that we can hug those knees in and just release any tension. You might sway a little bit. Take a breath, check in, notice how you feel. Offer yourself some appreciation for the great job you did in that dead bug series. And then let's bring our feet down and roll to our side. And we're going to, again, use a weight. And again, it could be your lighter weight, your heavier weight. This one is going to target the rotators, which tend to be not as strong. So I'm going to use a lighter weight. So knees are going to be bent and stacked, one on top of the other. We'll pick up a weight with the top hand here. Let's hug the elbow into the waist. We'll have the fist forward. And then with your elbow into your waist, you're going to lift your arm up. And the tendency is for the elbow to come away from the waist. Try to keep the elbow into the waist. The other tendency is for the wrist to cock back. Try to just keep your wrist straight. So the arm motion is parallel to the floor and then up toward the ceiling, keeping the elbow in. And as we do that arm motion, let's just lift the knee up and then drop it back down. So the feet stay together as the knee comes up, and you're just kind of doing some external rotation of the hip and rotating that arm up as well. We don't need to cock the wrist as the arm comes up. And this will target the back of the shoulder. Those muscles that tend to be kind of overstretched from all our forward-facing work, computers, driving, that kind of thing. The shoulders round forward and those rotator muscles get kind of overstretched and kind of weak. So I'm going to try and get those working here. So maybe we can do 4 more like this. Keeping that elbow hugging in. 2 more here. Lifting up. Lowering down. Last one. Nice job. Let's place the weight down. We'll push ourselves up. We'll swing our legs around to the other side. And we'll come back down. We'll have that weight nearby. Support your head so it's comfortable. Let's stack the knee one on top of the other so the hips are nice and stacked. And then we grab that weight. We hug the elbow into the waist. Fist is forward, arm is parallel to the floor. And then the arm goes up. Try to make sure that elbow stays in. And then just forearm faces the floor. Forearm faces forward. The wrist stays straight the whole time. And then the next time we lift, let's keep the feet together and just lift the knee up. And just wake up those hip muscles here, as well as working the muscles in the back of the shoulder. Yeah, up and down. Moving with our breath. Noticing how this is feeling. You know, they do studies that if you just focus on a muscle and imagine that it's working, there's actually more blood flow to the area. There's a change in the muscle. So focusing our awareness can make the work more effective, more impactful. So really feel what you're doing. And let's do 4 more. And 3 more. And 2 more. And last one. Nice job. And then you can place the weight down. Let's come onto all fours. Cushion your knees if that would be nice for you. Ground through your hands, lengthen your spine. Take a breath. As we exhale, let's just drop the tailbone down and just round all through the spine. Just let your head drop. Maybe take your hips back a little bit to change where you feel that flexion. And then come forward and come to your flat back. Let's start to drop the belly and tip the tailbone up, and then extend and arch all through the spine as you look forward and breathe in. And then just do those two movements again. So round your back, move into cat pose. You might move a little back or a little side to side, whatever feels right for you. And then start to transition to cow pose or extension or arching your back. Again, in a way that feels nice for you to warm up your spine and move with your breath. And then we'll come back to our neutral spine. From here, I'd like us to pick up the weight, and you could maybe try the heavier weight here. You can always go lighter. We're going to do a row. So you're going to have that weight just kind of a little bit behind your shoulder, and you're going to lift it up. So you're going to kind of hug the weight into your waist and then lower it down. And you can lightly touch the floor. So we're going to row up and lower down. Row up. So your hand comes kind of alongside your waist. And as you roll up, you're going to, again, kind of work the back of the shoulder. And you can kind of squeeze your shoulder blade in toward your spine. So you start to work the muscles in the back here as you roll up and lower down. Now we could do this with both knees on the floor. You could take your right leg back and just be on the ball of your right foot as you're doing that. So just kind of changes the feel a little bit. And if you want an even greater challenge, you could set the weight down for a moment and you could come onto both feet. And then could you roll up and lower down? So it's a lot more to ask of the arm that's supporting you. And it's just a lot more work to hold the body up. So, you know, you might try it and like it. You might try it and go back to one knee on the floor. You might like it with two knees on the floor. Let's just do two more like this. All right, and then we'll come back to hands and knees. That was challenging. We'll do the other side. I'm just going to turn so that you can see my arm motion. So with the weight in the other hand, we're just rowing up and coming down, bringing that hand by your waist and lowering down. So as you bring it up, can you think about maybe squeezing your shoulder blade in towards your spine? So you're working those whole, like wrapping back muscles here. And again, you can do the opposite leg. Just press out through the ball of the foot as you row up. Changes it up a little bit. If you want a big challenge, you might come onto both feet and then continue rowing up. So again, requires a lot more work for the shoulder of that stabilizing arm, and the core has to fire to keep you here. So maybe we do 4 more. And 3 more. And 2 more. And last one. Nice job. All right, let's take child's pose. Sit back. Child's pose, always a nice opportunity to check in with your breath, with your body, to allow the breath to release. So just one more breath of checking in, seeing what you're feeling like, what are you needing. And then when you're ready, start to transition to downward facing dog. So arms can reach out in front, toes can curl under. We'll come up to our down dog, pressing down through the hands, drawing the hips up and back, letting the head dangle, shaking the head a little bit to free up the base of the skull. Maybe we pedal one heel down, bending a knee, and then switch. Just whatever movement feels nice for you here in your first down dog. It's nice to breathe when we're upside down. The exhale can empty more fully. So do a few deep breaths in and out. And then let's bend both knees a bit and really draw the hips way up and back as we breathe in and out one more time. Then let's walk our hands back towards our feet, dropping our heels down, ending up folded over bent knees, feet nice and planted. We'll take a breath into the upper back. Allow the breath to empty out. And then let's draw the belly in and begin to roll ourselves up. Taking some time to unfurl the spine and feel the vertebrae stacking upon themselves. Slowly, gradually, eventually lifting the head up. As we root down, let's reach the arms out and reach them up with a breath. Lifting up, maybe lifting the heart a bit. And then allow the arms to lower down on the exhale. Great. Okay, let's pick up our heavier weights. We're going to wake up the legs here and the shoulders a little bit more with some squats. So squat position, like heels about hip distance or a little wider, toes a little bit turned out perhaps. And then you're just bending the knees and sitting into your squat. And then as you push into the feet and legs will come up, we'll bring the weights up. We're going to reach the arms overhead, and as we do that, let's lift the heels up. And then lower the heels, lower the arms, sit into your squat. Come on up, curl, and press up. And sit, and come up, and sit, and come up. So as you sit, you can think about like pulling yourself down into your squat and then pushing down to come up. So feel like you're activating your hamstrings to come down, if that makes sense to you. That might create a little more action in the backs of the legs. So continuing here, working the feet, the ankles, the legs, the hips, the arms, the awareness, noticing, feeling. Let's do a few more of these. Pressing up, lowering down, pressing up. How about 4 more? Press up, and 3 more. And up, and 2 more, and up. And last one. Nice. All right. So now let's do some cactus arms. And I want you to lift a knee and bring your elbow across. And then step. And then bring your elbow across. So this action, we're kind of targeting the midsection here. It's a little work for the arms to hold the weights here. But as you come across, can you kind of contract through your midsection? You can think about bringing this hip bone towards the opposite rib cage, right? So you're not just bringing the knee across, you're thinking about contracting the hip bone towards the opposite rib cage. Yeah, we'll just do a few more like this. Kind of get the whole body working here. Let's do 4 more. These last 4, we can really focus because we know how many we have left. Great. All right, drop your arms. We can set the weights down for now. And we'll make our way to the front of our mats. Maybe not right up in front, but close to the front. Let's root down to stand tall. And then we'll take the arms and reach them out. Inhale and reach them up. Exhale and swan dive forward, folding over the legs. Let's take a breath into the upper back. And exhale and extend the spine forward. You might press onto shins. And then inhale and fold over again. Let's bring our hands to the floor now and step back to downward facing dog. Find length in your spine here as you take a breath. And then we'll exhale and lower to straight arm plank. Pushing the floor away, nice and long heels to crown. Let's take a breath here. As we exhale, we're going to bend the elbows a bit. You can drop your knees down if you like here. Elbows pointing back towards the toes. Let's take a breath here. As we exhale, we're going to straighten the arms and use the belly to pull the hips up and back to down dog. We'll do that again. Exhale, lower to straight arm plank. And maybe try a little bend in the elbows. And then let's straighten the arms and go up and back. And breathe. This time we're going to exhale to straight arm plank. We're going to bend the elbows a bit. And then we might drop to knees. We're going to go all the way down onto belly. But we're going to push back up. So we can push up to knees, curl the toes under, lift the knees, and then lift up and back to down dog. Take a breath. Exhale to straight arm plank. Little bend in the elbows. And then we'll come all the way down. Let's push back up. Lift the knees, up and back to down dog. Take a breath. We're going to do a few more of these, lowering down, a little bend in the elbows, coming all the way down, pushing back up, lift the knees, up and back to down dog. This will be our last one. We're going to stay down after this, straight arm plank, little bend in the elbows, and then coming all the way down. Nice work. All right, as we're here, let your chest sink all the way down. Let your nose connect with the floor. Lift the chin and the nose up so you're looking straight down. Nice and long, toes reaching back, long through the crown of the head. Let's start to draw the heart forward as we inhale and lift the chest up to baby cobra. Only as high where we could still lift our hands off the floor. And then we'll lower back down. We'll do that again. Inhale up to baby cobra. Could you press the heels of your hands back towards your heels and pull your heart forward a bit more? And then lower back down. This time, we'll inhale up to baby cobra. We could stay here, or if we like, we could come up a bit higher into cobra. And then we'll lower back down. Let's push up to knees. Take the hips back and sit all the way back into child's pose. Sit back and round over your legs. Release your forehead to the floor or on your bent arms. And breathe here. Great. Let's lift our heads up and come up onto our knees. We'll come to stand on our knees. And let's step 1 foot forward. It doesn't probably matter which foot. Let's have the heel either under the knee or a little forward of the knee, not behind the knee. And then let the weight move into that front foot. Make sure this foot and this knee are hip distance apart, not narrower. And then let the weight go into that front foot. Let that front knee move forward. And as the hips move forward, start to feel the stretch in that back leg. And then we're going to push the weight back. So if that's too much on that back knee, you can cushion it. We're going to think about pressing that back knee down into the floor, and that's going to fire up that back thigh. And as you're pushing down, now take the weight into the front foot. So there's action and maybe a little more resistance in the stretch in that back quad muscle. Yeah, and then push back. Again, we're pressing the back knee and down, knee and shin, and then letting the weight move forward. Weight is on that front foot. Let's take the same arm as the back leg and reach it up now. So the knee and shin are pressing down, the arm is reaching up. We'll take a breath here. And then let's sweep the other arm up. And as the back knee and shin are pressing down, both arms are reaching up. We'll take a breath. And then let's lean forward and bring our hands down. Can we curl the back toes under and press up to lunge? Again, feet are hip distance apart. Can we press into the front foot and rise up now? We'll square our hips to that short front line of the mat. And then let's bend the front knee and straighten it. And bend the front knee and straighten it. We're going to bend the front knee and keep it bent. Drop the arms down and sweep them forward and up. Big breath here as we reach up and overhead. And then we're going to exhale our hands all the way down. And let's step back to downward facing dog. We'll breathe in and out here. We'll lower to straight arm plank. Maybe try a little bend in the elbows. And then lower all the way down to the mat. Let's inhale up to baby cobra or cobra. And exhale back down. And make our way up and back to down dog. We'll breathe in and out here. And then let's again drop to knees. Come to stand on the knees. And step the other foot forward. So maybe I should have cued. So you'd know that you're on your second foot. But yeah, hopefully this is not the same leg. So again, your heel is a little forward of your knee. Your knee and your foot are hip distance apart. Just begin by putting weight into that front foot and letting the body move forward. And then push back. Now let's put some weight into that back knee and shin, firing up this thigh muscle here. And then let the weight move into that front foot. And then push back. Pressing down with that back knee and shin. Again, moving the weight into that front foot. And then let's sweep that same arm as the back leg up as we breathe in. And let that breath go. Then we'll sweep the other arm up. So back knee and shin are pressing down as we're reaching up, breathing in. And then we're going to exhale our hands all the way down to the floor. Let's try and curl the back toes under and press up to lunge. We'll have that hip distance apart. And then can we push into that front foot and rise up? We'll bring our hands to hips, square our hips to the front line of the mat. And then let's bend the front knee and push down to straighten. And bend the front knee and straighten. One more time like that. The next time the knee is bent, we'll pause there. Dropping the arms down, let's sweep them both up as we breathe in. And then we'll exhale our hands all the way down to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. You could drop to knees and then down dog. We're going to flow one more time if you like, or you could just hang out here. So take a breath here, lower to straight arm plank, little bend in the elbows, lowering all the way down, prone mountain, inhaling up to baby cobra or cobra, exhaling back down, making our way up and back to down dog. We'll breathe in and out here. And actually come to straight arm plank and make your way all the way down to belly. Yeah. Down onto prone mountain. But I want us now to take our arms out in front. So you're kind of in that Superman pose. So you can be looking down at the floor. Let's press the front of the hips down. When we press the pelvis down, press that pubic bone down, do you feel how that creates some length in your low back? It also fires up the glutes. And then if we press the feet down, then we're firing up the whole back of the legs. So we're going to keep the hips pressing down and lift the legs up now. Yeah. And then lower them down. So now let's just lift the chest and lift the arms up. And then lower them down. So now we're going to do opposite arm and opposite leg. So we're going to lift one leg up and lift the other arm. And then lower them down. Lift the other leg up and the other arm. And then lower them down. Do that again. Opposite arm, opposite leg lift. And then lower down. Opposite arm and opposite leg lift. Now let's go a little faster. As one comes down, the other goes up. 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 A little faster. So up and up and up and up and up and up. And then a little faster. So it's up and up and up and up and up and up and up. It's kind of like swimming. Let's do 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Relax. We're just going to finish up with a hold, right? So press the hips down, lift the legs, reach forward, lift up Superman here, get long, maybe lift a little higher, take one more breath, and then relax. Nice job. All right, hands come back in. Let's do one more child's pose. Take the hips back, sit back, Round, release, breathe, connect, feel. Let the breath empty. When you're ready, lift your head up. We're going to take downward facing dog one more time. So make your way to down dog. Breathe in and out here. Let's walk our hands back towards our feet, lowering our heels down. From here, we're going to bend the knees and lower the hips and sweep the arms forward, sitting back in a low chair. Yeah. Take one arm up by your ear and then bring it forward. Take your other arm up by your ear and then bring it forward. Now let's take both arms up by our ears. We're sitting nice and low. We're reaching the arms up. We'll breathe in and out. And then let's push down to rise up and reach up. And then we'll exhale arms down at our sides. Good work. All right, let's turn and face forward. And we're going to pick up our heavier weights. And we'll just do a little lunging work. Let's have our feet hip distance apart. And we'll take a big step back with one foot. And so we still have that hip distance apart. We're on the ball of the back foot. We're just going to bend both knees. My back knee doesn't bend as well right now. You might go further and then straighten. So as we bend, we're going to curl. And then we're going to push that front foot down to lower. So we're curling up and then we're lowering the arms. And we're curling up and we're lowering. Yeah. Elbows stay in kind of close to the body. We can have the fists pointing towards each other. As we lower the arms, we lower with control. We don't just let them drop or swing. Nice controlled movement here. Keep going. Our biceps are pretty strong. So we need to do a number of reps to get them to feel the work. And working the legs too. Let's do 4 more. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Great. Now we're going to bend into the front knee and lean forward. Let your arms drop down. And we're just going to do some lateral raises and lower. So again, working the back of the shoulder here. Lifting out, lowering down. So a long lever, a long arm, and a heavy weight is hard. So if you need to drop to a lighter weight, go right ahead. Or you could do one arm and then the other arm. If you need a little, if it's a little bit much, just do one arm at a time. Let's do 4 more and 3 more and 2 more and 1 more. Can you hold it out there and take a breath and lower? Good. Step the back foot in. Do you feel that in that standing leg? I did. All right, let's take a step back with the other foot. Nice big step. Lift up that back heel. And then when you're ready, kind of make sure you got the right distance, front foot, back foot, so you can bend both knees. We'll curl up and then we'll lower down. Bend and curl and lower. Yep. Good old lunge and curl. Yeah. A nice way to work the muscles in the thighs and in biceps. Some very strong muscles here. So we got to do quite a few of these. Yeah. So you're probably breathing. You know, my breath is a little heavier because there's some exertion here. So I probably don't need to remind you not to hold your breath. And let's do 4 more. 4 and 3. So these last 4 can be really strong. And 2 and 1. Good job. Now bend your front knee forward, lean forward, drop your arms down, and we're going to lateral raise and lower down. Lateral raise, lower down. Lateral raise, lower down. Yep. Let's do 4 more. And 3 more. And 2 more. The last one, we're going to hold it up. Lift it up, hold it up, take a breath, and then lower down and step it in. Nice work. Great. All right, we're just going to need 1 weight. Probably a heavier weight would be fine. Let's turn the right foot in and turn the left foot out. We're going to have the weight in the back hand. We're going to bend this front knee a couple of times and just make sure we have a nice distance, front foot, back foot. The next time this knee bends, let's tip the hips over, let the bottom arm rest on that leg. So at the beginning, we were doing rows. So I want you to turn your chest toward the floor. And just like we did at the beginning, we're going to row up by the waist, but then we're going to turn. And then we're going to press that arm up. And we'll go backwards then. We're going to turn and roll down. And then we're going to roll up, turn, and press up. Bring it back down and turn the chest to the floor. We're going to lead with the shoulder, the elbow. We're going to rotate, and then we're going to press up. And then we're going to unwind all that. So lift the shoulder, the arm up, and then roll back down. Let's just do 2 more. Roll and press up, and then lower back down. This time we're going to roll and press up, and then can we straighten that bottom leg, place the hand on the bottom shin, open up into triangle and breathe in and out, and then push down into the feet and legs. Come all the way up. Great, let's do that all on the other side. We'll turn the back foot in, turn the front foot out, put the weight in the back hand as we bend and straighten the front knee. And then we're going to bend that knee and tip over, forearm on the thigh. And then drop the arm down, chest to the floor, and then lift the shoulder, lift the elbow, rotate the belly, and then we're going to press up. And then we're going to unwind that, looking down, and then rolling up and pressing up, and then unwinding that. Start with that row, and then turn and press, and then lower back down. Shoulder comes up, elbow comes up. We press up, and then lower back down. Couple more like this, and lower down. Roll up, press up, and lower down. Last time we're gonna roll up and press up. And then can we start to straighten the bottom leg, hand on the bottom shin, open up here and breathe in and out. And then press down to rise up. Nice work. All right, turn your feet forward and just walk your feet in or jump your feet in. We can put our weights down now, and we're going to make our way all the way down to the floor. So let's just come all the way down onto our backs. We're going to put our feet in close. So we're going to set up for bridge pose. So heels under knees, feet hip distance apart, arms at your side, looking up at the ceiling. Let's just press down and roll up into just a regular standard hip bridge. So we feel our feet pressing down, we feel our knees and shins pressing forward, our hips lift up, the weight comes onto the shoulders. We'll take a breath at the top. And then just articulate that spine as you lower down. Just let it unfurl as it slowly, gradually releases into the floor. Once you're all the way down, let everything relax. Now let's keep one foot right where it is and take the other foot up so the knee is bent. And then we're not going to come up as high. We're going to push into the foot that's on the floor and lift up into a bridge, a low bridge, and then lower back down. A couple more times. Same foot, lift up and then lower back down. And lift up and lower back down. So we're really working into the back of the leg, into the glute, lower back down. Can you try to keep your hips level as you do this? So you're not kind of rocking towards the side where the foot is down, but trying to keep your hips more level. Let's do 2 more. Lifting up and lowering down. As you lift up this last time, can you hold it up there and take a breath? And then lower down. Okay, so have both feet on the floor, setting up like for your regular bridge, and then lift that other foot off the floor. Knee is bent. And then that foot that's on the ground, press into it to lift the hips up and then lower back down. Lift the hips up and lower back down. So you don't want the hip where the leg is up in the air to come up way higher. You want the hips to be pretty even. And you're really pushing down with that connected foot to create some action in the back of the thigh and into the glute. So we'll just do a few more of these, maybe 4, and 3, and 2. This last time, let's press up and hold up for a breath. And then release. Release that foot down. Let's go ahead and hug the knees in now. Release anything that might be tight in the low back. And then can we keep the knees close to the body, but drop our arms out to the side, and then allow the knees to drop all the way over to one side. So one knee stacks on top of the other. And then reach back with the arm that's behind. Maybe turn the gaze towards that arm that's behind and take a deep breath in and out. Really letting that breath empty. Let's do that again. Nice full deep breath in. And a big letting go, releasing breath out. And then we can bring one knee up and then the other knee. And we can let both knees drop all the way over to the other side. One knee stacking on top of the other. And then reaching back with the arm that's behind. And again, deep breaths here. 2 big rounds of deep breathing with a full emptying of breath out. Just let that exhale be a releasing and a letting go. And then you can bring the knees back to center. Release your feet to the floor. We're going to start to transition to our final relaxation. So depending on how you're feeling, where you are, you might want to put on a layer to get a little bit warmer, or put on your socks. You might want to cover up with a blanket or put a pillow under your head. Take this time here now to set yourself up to be nice and comfortable so that as you lie back, it feels nice. And then just allow yourself to really settle in. You might shift a little bit at first, but then just feel that feeling of ease and relaxation settle into you. This is a process of allowing, giving permission, just letting the body receive its own wisdom, its awareness of the benefit of letting the body settle into a very relaxed state. So any holding on, we let go of now. The feet relaxing, the ankles, the calves, the knees and thighs just dropping into the floor. We invite the belly to soften, the gut to unclench, and release the weight of the hips into the floor. We feel the weight of the shoulders dropping back, the arms heavy, the palms softening. We feel the chest just relaxing and opening. We let the weight of the head release back so the neck can relax, the jaw can relax. We let the eyes relax. We let the forehead smooth out. We let the mind be like the body, just resting at ease. Even a few minutes of allowing the body to rest can be beneficial. But you might be craving a longer rest. So you're welcome to just close your device and stay longer. You can keep lying back now. I'm going to share a little reading. Or you can transition up, your choice. This is from Mary Oliver. I just found it in my papers this morning and it's quite lovely. She says, "My work is loving the world. Here the sunflowers, there the hummingbird, equal seekers of sweetness. Here the quickening yeast, there the blue plums. Here the clam deep in the speckled sand. Are my boots old? Is my coat torn? Am I no longer young and still not half perfect? Let me keep my mind on what matters, which is my work, which is mostly standing still and learning to be astonished. The phoebe, the delphinium, the sheep in the pasture, and the pasture, which is mostly rejoicing since all ingredients are here, which is gratitude, to be given a mind and a heart and these body clothes, a mouth with which to give shouts of joy to the moth and the wren, to the sleepy dug up clam, telling them all over and over how it is that we live forever. So thank you for being here this morning. I wish you a wonderful day, peace, and gratitude.